Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to demystify the massive infrastructure behind the Internet of Things. You hear this buzzword all the time, right? But today, we're literally pulling back the curtain. We're going to follow the incredible journey of a single piece of data, tracking it from the physical world all the way up to the cloud.
So, let's dive right in. What exactly makes a thing smart? Think about it. A basic thermostat or a factory robot isn't inherently intelligent. How do everyday physical objects suddenly gain the ability to communicate? Well, we're going to break down the actual technology that translates our physical world into digital information.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with a welcome to the IoT, then look at the anatomy of IoT devices, move up the layers of architecture, check out protocols and communication, and finish up with securing the future. All right, part 1. Welcome to the IoT.
Basically, the Internet of Things is defined as the networking of physical objects that contain embedded electronics. The really crucial point to grasp here is that the IoT isn't some brand new, completely separate internet. No, it's actually an extension of our existing one. It's specifically designed to let physical assets exchange information in the exact same way you and I do when we're browsing the web.
And you guys, this is happening on a massive scale. Right now, there are over 9 billion things connected to the internet. But that number, it is projected to absolutely explode to 20 billion in the near future. Think about that for a second. We are talking about connected devices outnumbering the human population by more than 2 to 1.
This whole ecosystem is what supports all of those billions of devices. We're talking about everything from the agricultural fields growing our food, to the cars we drive, to health monitors, and entirely smart cities. They all feed data up through internet connectivity, into application enablement platforms, and finally into a massive cloud architecture where we humans can actually make sense of it all.
Moving on to part 2, anatomy of IoT devices.
Now, every smart device shares a similar core anatomy. I actually love thinking about this like human anatomy. The sensors, those are the senses. They gather real-world environmental inputs, like temperature or motion. Then you have the processors. That's the brain, giving intelligence to the raw data and encrypting it. The gateways act as the nervous system, routing those signals exactly where they need to go. And finally, the actuators are like the muscles. They convert those digital signals back into physical actions, like flipping a switch or turning a valve.
To put a face to the name, consider a cool little device called Twine. It's an intelligent environmental monitoring sensor. It can listen to vibrations, monitor temperature, and it can literally even send you a tweet if someone knocks on your front door. It's just a perfect example of how a simple piece of hardware translates the physical space around it into a digital report.
Okay, part 3, layers of architecture.
Because, let's be honest, an isolated device isn't very useful on its own. Data in an IoT system travels up through 4 specific layers to reach a central architecture. It starts at the perception layer at the very bottom. That's the physical sensing we just talked about, maybe using RFID or NFC. Then it moves to the network layer, traveling securely over Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or Zigbee. Next up, it hits the processing layer, where middleware analyzes this massive influx of information and makes decisions. Finally, it arrives at the application layer. This is the dashboard or the mobile app that you and I actually look at to understand what's going on.
Let's get into part 4, protocols and communication. So, how do these small devices actually speak to the network? Well, in heavy industrial systems, they often use a protocol called Modbus TCP. It's superstructured. Devices use specific hexadecimal function codes to read and write data. It's basically a polling mechanism, meaning a client specifically asks a server for data from 16-bit registers or 1-bit coils. It is rigid, it is highly reliable, and it's absolutely perfect for industrial automation where precision is just key.
But out in the wider IoT world, devices are often running on tiny little batteries. They simply can't afford heavy, chatty protocols. You see, traditional TCP requires a constant back-and-forth handshake to maintain a connection, and it uses a heavier 20-byte packet header. Because of that, IoT devices frequently skip it and use UDP instead. UDP is connectionless, meaning no handshaking required. It just fires the data off with a tiny 8-byte packet header. That makes it perfect for quick, energy-efficient bursts of information.
UDP is incredibly popular for sensors specifically because of how lean it is. It operates with that tiny 8-byte header, which basically just contains the source, destination, length, and a simple checksum. Now sure, there are strict limits on maximum payload sizes, and networks can fragment larger packets. But for a little sensor that's just trying to say, hey, the temperature is 72 degrees, this lightweight, unregulated send rate is completely ideal.
Once those tiny UDP packets traverse the network and hit the processing layer, they meet an API, or Application Programming Interface. Think of the API as the ultimate translator. It takes all that raw machine code and exposes the functionalities in a highly structured way. This allows the application layer, again, those human-facing dashboards and mobile apps, to actually consume and display the data in a way we understand.
Finally, Part 5. Securing the future.
With billions of devices constantly chatting across these lightweight protocols and pushing data up to the cloud, we absolutely have to talk about security. I mean, you can't just install an antivirus program on a smart light bulb, right? Security has to start at the absolute bedrock of the device, which is the firmware. Because firmware is stored in read-only memory, or ROM, the core operating instructions of these embedded systems cannot be dynamically or maliciously rewritten on the fly. This creates a really crucial hardware-level root of trust.
And that leaves us with a critical puzzle for the future, and honestly, a great question to leave you with today. As we scale up to 20 billion smart autonomous objects, how do we balance the need for that lightweight, rapid, low-battery communication with the absolute necessity of impenetrable security? Securing the nervous system of our physical world is, without a doubt, the next great frontier in technology. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope you now have a much clearer picture of the incredible journey your data takes every single time a smart thing wakes up.